Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Get Your Goals Annual Challenge, day 311. And we are going to use the SOAP framework on the overall goal, life improvement area. I like to use the SOAP framework on improvement areas or challenges or things that we're facing that we really want to knock out of the park and nail it. It's a little preliminary, a little before we work on our overarching goals and on our goals in an area, but it's something that I know if I do something about it, if I improve that area, if I apply the SOAP framework, it is going to make all the other areas and aspects of my life so much easier. So what is our SOAP framework? We're going to run through it quickly, and then we're going to go through it over the next 4 days. Today, we're going to talk about our story. Our story, meaning what is our current story, our current situation versus our desired story and our desired situation. I guess I'll go through all of them. O is for options or infinite possibilities. A is for action. We analyze and we act immediately on the option that we select so that we can see if it's working or not. And the P stands for progress. How do we know if we're moving toward what we want or not? Are we seeing an improvement in the area that we're working on or not? So yesterday we went through and we used all the different areas of the life framework and we picked one. I actually worked on it a little harder than that. I went and I brainstormed, okay, what's the biggest thing and biggest challenge or biggest improvement area I need to address in each of these areas: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, communication, and confidence. And then I picked my top three. And my top three were physical, relationships, and communication right now, because there's a lot of stuff going on in my life and in my family. And I think that that has to do with relationships as well as communication. I could tell some funny stories since we're talking about stories today, but I decided that the one thing I'm really going to work on most and first is physical. And that's because I've been traveling a lot and the holidays are coming up, and I have noticed that I've been eating really terribly. Like, I had apple pie for breakfast yesterday, and that's probably not one of my better choices in the last several years. So I realized, with traveling for a few weeks and then coming home and heading into holiday time, Halloween, I was not that good on Halloween. I ate a lot of caramel. So I thought, okay, my current situation is, because of traveling, because of all these things, I've let some of my better choices slip, and that impacts my energy. So my current story is all these things, and I'll work that out today. I already got it set up in my book. I always set up, what's my current story, what's my desired story? And I was going to do it using SWOT analysis. We've talked about that before. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats is a good framework for looking at, all right, what's going on right now with respect to strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? And then what do I want it to be? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so I just started doing current and desired. And what that does, when we look at each of those stories, what do we have right now? What's going on? What's actually going on? We don't have to tell anybody. We just have to be honest with ourselves versus what we want it to be. And guess what? We don't have to tell anyone what we want it to be either. It's our personal story, and it's up to decide what we want, us to decide what we want that to be. So I just put down a couple of things this morning. I want more energy. I need more energy to keep up with my little granddaughters. And during the holidays, we spend lots of time together. So I want to make sure I have the energy and the enthusiasm, and that I'm not tired or stressed out or hangry, because when I'm that way, I'm not my best self and I don't get to really be present and enjoy them. And then I need to pay better attention to my nutrition and my dieting, not dieting so much as just what am I consuming and how is it impacting me versus so that I have a healthier body. I'm getting older, right? We're all getting older, hopefully, because it beats the alternative. The alternative is not very pretty. If we're not getting older, there's a problem. And I found, as I was looking for a book, a Once Upon a Time, our idiom for supersize your business today, it's going to be Once Upon a Time. Haven't made that video yet, but I was looking for a book that started with Once Upon a Time, and I could not find one, but I did find this self-care journal that I got a long, long time ago, and I did about 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of it. So I am thinking that I did not commit to using it, and so maybe one of the things that I do is I look at and I use this self-care journal between now and the end of the year. There's plenty of room in it to use between now and the end of the year. Now look, I'm already jumping through the whole SOAP framework. Stop. Today we're just telling our story, but I found a storybook that I can write in with respect to this specific improvement area. So what are we doing today? Our action item: pick the area. You picked it yesterday, hopefully. The area of your life, just pick one area that you want to improve. If you've never done this before, if you've listened to me for 311 days and you haven't done this at least once, I'm thinking, get moving. It's not that hard. It's great. It's a tool that you will use forever, but you can install it in your subconscious, so you don't even have to consciously think about it, but it'll give you better results going forward in every area and aspect of your life, in every situation where you face an obstacle, a challenge, a setback, a problem, etc. So, first step, story or situation. What's my current story? What's my desired story? That's all you have to do today is identify those two stories, because what it'll naturally do is create the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and that creates a pull that helps us move toward what we want automatically. Crazy, huh? Love how that works. So that's what we're doing today. There will be a write-up and guide 17 of the Get Up and Go Challenge private Facebook group page. You're always welcome to join that group. Gotta answer the questions. I get requests every day for that group, and people don't answer the questions. And it's harder. You used to be able to send them a message and say, hey, you got to answer the questions. And sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't on Facebook. So we do what we can. But if you have any questions, you can always ask me. Reach out, direct message me, put a comment under the video or in one of the guides, whatever. There's tons of ways to get your questions answered. So never think that there isn't help available. Help is always just a question away. All right. Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. Get those stories going.